Okay, cool.
My picture was too ugly. I took. They didn't even put it on my.
Hey, where's that picture?
Oh, I guess maybe they take pictures on.
Oh shit.
No,
That's weird.
Spencer has one.
I'm wrong.
Rejected already.
So we're gonna start capturing like upstairs, right?
We can start the walk-in like from the door and then.
That's weird.
Spencer has one.
I'm wrong.
Rejected already.
So we're gonna start capturing like upstairs, right?
We can start the walk-in like from the door and then.
From this room?
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to hold this open because maybe we can get security. You gotta hold. Someone's gotta hold it. Just make sure we don't like lock anyone out because they want to. Like I said, yeah. You go up to the second.
A little tardy.
Oh yeah. Time to learn some stuff.
Before we get everyone. Are those your friends too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're coming.
Okay, cool.
Got some stragglers. All right.
So funny.
After this joke.
Damn.
Hear the material a lot. So we love it.
Lord.
Guys, can you guys guess what Jess is mine? There's a bear there. It's pink. Take it out, Francis. Everyone.
What up, boy?
It's a joke. Everybody just laughs. Cheyenne, when you
Say it again for the snap.
do you post a paycheck?
I wish.
Damn. All right.
Hey, Kyle.
Hello, Francis. How you been?
I'm good.
All right. Good. What up, boy? How you feeling, man? All right. Yes, sir. Oh, look at the little booth. It's new.
Can you do me a huge favor?
Okay, this is the big door.
The big door.
The big door. Okay, wait. We need the stop. We need that. Yeah, this is the good one.
Okay.
Wait, should I have waited for the other people at that other door?
Oh, security's gonna bring them up.
We need rap.
Socks? Yeah. She's gonna give my swag.
Okay.
Okay, does he want to get...
Yeah, he's gonna get this part.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You want to do it here? You want... Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually looks perfect.
Okay, yeah. All right, guys. Let's go. Class is in session.
This
Hello,
is-
everyone.
I think the entrance door is better than.
Office Creator Lounge.
You know, it kind of does give y'all. They got a phone booth.
I feel like I haven't been here in a minute.
It's been a while.
Your hair.
This was here last time. I forgot.
Oh.
The London office is...
London office is so fire, Brooke. Whoa. Let me back here. Give me some NBA shit.
Let's go.
I haven't been here since my first class.
This is the vibe right here.
I've been a go. Hell no. Hey, whoa. Look at all my classmates. Got a little fridge. Fridge ain't opening no more.
Yeah, she.
Yo. All my classmates.
Security's got to bring them up. Yeah,
Okay.
one day. We'll wait to get started before and everybody comes up.
Yeah, but at the end, can we
And
do
then
a class?
where I bring together about 50 to 100 people together, teach them best practices. They get to meet each other, all that stuff. So I do snap schools everywhere. I just got back from Atlanta doing a snap school there, and so I work with Snapchat. I work with creators, talent, celebrities, help them optimize the platform. A lot has changed over the last few years. So I launched a program about 3 years ago called Snap School. That I work with Cheyenne to do these private snap schools. I love Cheyenne. She's like our warrior in the streets, like, you know, just singing our praises, always bring really dope people to the platform. So I figure I'd give you guys kind of your own few questions. We won't have time to go through probably all the questions. And then I want to carve out at least like 10 minutes for you guys to shoot content, and then we'll be about your day. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Treat just like school, so like you guys got a nod, like a mini version of Snap School if that works. So how it'll work is I'll just kind of share my screen and chat you through some, you know, things when it comes to Snapchat, opportunities, how you guys can think about Snapchat. We'll open it up to All right. Yes, enthusiasm, that's what I want. All right, so when you pull up Snap, it brings you to your camera. Bear with me, you're looking at like a newer version of Snapchat that will. But first and foremost, I want to say a few things about Snapchat. We always say we're an and, not an or. This is not to take away from anything you're doing on Instagram and TikTok. This is really to, you know, come out at some point. It's kind of going to be a 3-tab experience, a simplified version. You'll have chat, camera, of course, and then a For You page, which will be both stories and spotlight. We'll get into all that. Add in addition to your content house and really, you know, be a total content machine. I think what you'll come to find is as you post on Snapchat, you're consistent. you might have those fans that follow you across, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. But as you really lean into Snapchat, you're gonna find that one, our audience is heavily unduplicated. So I think we're up to 453 million daily active users. These are people that are just using Snapchat to message their friends every single day. So it's funny that people think that our competitors are like Instagram and TikTok. Our competitors are actually like WhatsApp and iMessage isn't on Instagram. So it's a heavily unduplicated audience for you to kind of tap into. So I'm gonna pull up an example. Pull you up. I'm gonna pull up. This is how it's because like these people are on Snapchat using it every single day. So as you kind of use it, you'll find that 50% of our audience isn't on YouTube on a daily basis, 40% isn't on TikTok, and 30% other platforms. It's not like an Instagram where it has to be this curated thing. It's not like a TikTok where you're known for doing a very specific thing, or maybe you had a very specific format pop off and you see. Often I show Cheyenne all these screen recordings. That's me pulling her up in meetings. I'm gonna pull up Cheyenne's profile as an example. What you'll come to find is the difference between Snapchat to that. It's really you living your regular life doing regular things. So I tell people if Instagram wants to host 1% of the world's most beautiful moments, Snap will gladly take 99% of the world's smaller moments. And our audience love those moments in between. I think when people initially come to Snapchat, they have a tendency to overthink Snapchat. I do like Cheyenne as an example, and I use her a lot as an example to say like, she's got a life, she travels, she's got events, she's got all of these many thousands of friends. And so she has a busy life, but 90. So the goal on Snapchat, I think when it comes to metrics that people care about, like people get caught up on things like views and I want more followers. The metric % of her snaps take place at home. It's her just like hanging out, whether she's getting ready to go to snap school or whatever, a day with Ryder, right? It's just her hanging out, kind of those moments in between. Grow your audience the most. And then we do have an ads program, which I'll talk about, and that's what's gonna make you the most money. So I'm gonna go back to, again, you're looking at a different version of my phone, so bear with me. Okay, on Snapchat that matters is average time spent. How long people are on your stories are single-handedly what's going to get you you see these, the carousel at the top. So we have what we call Snap Stars. These are verified creators. All Snap Stars have to be approved by our team. We look at a lot of different criteria. It's not always about how big someone is too. Quality of content is everything. There are plenty of big people who aren't verified on Snap because they don't make brand safe content or whatever it is. So, Cheyenne, the ability to be really discovered by people who don't follow you. The second thing is being a Snap Star also makes you eligible, doesn't mean automatic, makes you eligible for our ads program. So we'll come up with a system for Cheyenne to like take a look at everyone in this room and like figure out how we can evaluate as many of you guys for verification as possible. So, being verified comes with some extra perks. One of those is the ad to Universal Studios, and that's a rev share between us and the talent. So this is a program that is only available to Snap Stars, verified creators that meet certain on-platform. First, to put ads in between the public story and share revenue with the creator. So you can imagine a world where I'm watching Dwight Howard's story, and after a certain amount of time, I'm gonna get certain criteria. So first things first, start posting. Let's get you guys active. Really be consistent in that. Grow the audience so you can hit that on-platform criteria. We can work to get you guys into some doing live reactions, like watching a screen or a scene or whatever it is. So that's a really great feature. A couple things. So some of you guys into this program. So it's been a very lucrative program, and again, when it comes to ads, it's about how long people watch your story before they get kind of served an ad. Okay, I were to take this snap, I press send to at the bottom. Creators have the ability to post on their public story and have stories run longer. So in the beginning, it might be a little bit tougher. Maybe you won't post every single day. So experiment with like having it run a little bit longer and use this sparingly. I think if you do something really cool, like go on an event, travel, stuff like that, you can play around with that. You can also add collaborators to your story. So if I wanted to post on Akon's story, I could, or any of these folks, and that's only because they gave me permission to. So if I know there's a few of you guys in here who are helping someone with their social content, you can add your assistant, your social media manager, whoever it is, so they can add content to your story on your behalf. I have to say this, and you're gonna hear me say this 1,000 times, and this comes out of my mouth a million times. There's this misconception that Snapchat is a sneaky link app. I cannot stress it enough. Because you cannot say, cash out me $10, I'm gonna send you a private snap. That doesn't fly. Like things like it's just so important. Another thing that is the case too is anything it couldn't be further from the truth. Our audience is as young as 13, and complying with community guidelines is so important. This includes things like deceptive. You want to make sure anyone you add as collaborator you trust, because if let's say Cheyenne posts something on my story that's not compliant with guidelines, that's me. That doesn't come down on Cheyenne, that comes down on my account. So like, you get your Snapchat taken away, we've kicked people out of the ads program. One trend that's happening now are people are like paying these agencies to like essentially steal content and throw a reaction on top of it. Really, really, really careful about the people out there, and community guidelines being a really, really big piece of that. Is all that track so far? Yeah. Okay. So if ever you're lost, you're like, Brooke, everything like there's also a lot of like scammy third parties out there too, like agencies, like people saying, oh, I'll pay me this and I'll get you verified. Yeah, that's what all of that is bullshit. So just be really, really Page is your best friend. This is where you can add saved stories to your profile. I cannot stress enough. Make sure you guys have a filled out profile. It sounds simple, but it like I work on 7 out the window. I don't know. Just always default to this kind of icon in the upper left hand corner. This will take you to your public profile page, and this partnership scene. We're pitching people for opportunities all the time. If I go to Cheyenne's profile and there's nothing on it, I'm gonna move on to the next person. So make sure you have a bio filled out, all of that. You can think of saved stories as the equivalent to like highlights on Instagram meets your YouTube library. These saved stories are obviously pinned on your profile, and then these saved stories get extra distribution in the Discover feed. This takes you to your public profile insights, and this is kind of when I was telling you to track your average time spent. This is a good place to track that. 2 things. 1, these app views at the top to average time spent. That gives you an idea of how long people are on your stories. So I'm gonna give you an example. For example, icons are these kind of numbers in the upper right hand corner. That's how many snaps you've posted. So if you're like, you can't get a gauge on how many snaps a day you're posting, that's what that will tell you. If you follow this from Snap, don't have time to post on Snap every day because they keep me busy. So you can see days where it's like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever. But the days I wait for, that's 2 minutes. That's usually the days where I'm like, talking to camera, I'm introducing characters, I'm using captions, because captions are what's going to really keep people on it. You kind of saw that earlier on Dwight Howard's story, using captions to give context to what you're watching on screen. Even if I hold this down because I have to read the caption, that counts towards watch time. So captions are actually the biggest hack. So even if you're doing a combination of photos and videos, the very last thing I want to show you guys, and then we'll open up to two things, and then we'll open up to questions. So going back to this page, again, going back to this, default will really help, because if there's no captions, I'm just going to tap through it quickly. You're not going to get any ads served, and then I'm going to be off your story in 2 seconds. Does all that make sense? Yeah. Okay, the public profile page here. You see that the bell at the top that says 10 next to it? Mm-hmm. If you tap that bell, that takes you to your activity feed. We don't host public comments on the public story for a few reasons, mental health reasons, but Snapchatters can still reply to your story, and you have total discretion over what you want to respond to. So this person is like, if you care about me at all, okay, they're just tagging me and shit. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to respond to one right now. Okay. Guy Jackson. She crushes it on Snap. She went from 0 to 1-something million in 4 months, and she's become a top earner at Snapchat. Granted, she has huge off-platform followers. Be the game changer and the needle mover on Snapchat is when you can really start to differentiate your Snapchat content across your other platforms and really make it feel exclusive to Snapchat. A good example of that is Sims, but she didn't grow on Snapchat because of her celebrity, because it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of famous people on Snapchat who aren't growing because they are not leaning in and being consistent and making the Snapchat content different. So while Sky still posts on TikTok and Instagram, her Snapchat content really does feel like you're getting like a 24-hour into Sky's life in a way that you're just not going to get on Instagram. Again, she's doing story replies, things like that. So the more you can differentiate your content, the more you will see that growth. And that's Snap in a Snap. That's like the quickest snap.
I wrote them down, but I'm not gonna be that corny. Okay, so on the way here, we were talking about what is like the best advice to help somebody who's new on Snap grow.
That's pretty good, right? Yeah. All right, that's the most useful degree of your life. Congrats, you're all graduates.
Damn, bro. That was hella fast.
Snap uni.
Wait, Kyle is bringing everyone's swag. Wait, guys, say thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Let's go. What's going on? Oh, Kyle brought everyone's swag. Say thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Wait, I didn't record. Let's do it again. I don't know how much is there. We don't have different sizes, but y'all have at that before you leave. And Kyle, your size.
Zach, extra small.
Okay, thank you.
Boy, he about 2 feet tall.
Sorry, so tell me a question.
So basically, how can you grow on Snap? Like if I'm starting from 0, what would be your best way to grow?
2 things. One, it really, I know people say consistency, but it's so important. You're not going to grow on Snap if you're posting like 1 to 2 to 3 snaps here or there every other day on your public story. Like those who are leaning in and growing are the ones who are consistently like posting like up. I mean, I don't want to daunt anyone, but like, you know, Cheyenne is posting like 100 times a day. I'm not saying everyone needs to post 100 times a
It's
day.
actually about 300 times a day.
Okay, that's next level. That's crazy. That's crazy. But like, it really is about like longer stories. And then we have this thing called Spotlight. If you repurpose content, make sure there's no watermarks. But you know, Spotlight's still new. Algorithms figuring itself out. I would say though, still, I've had quite a few of my Snap stars like surpass their in Spotlight, which is like short form videos. So like things that would go on like a TikTok or a Reel is perfect for Spotlight. I encourage you guys, like if you guys are making a ton of stuff on like TikTok Reels, throw it up on Instagram followings by posting to both stories and Spotlight. So Spotlight's a great growth.
Is Spotlight still doing challenges?
Spotlight's not doing challenges.
They took it off.
Now monetized for those in the ads program, so which is good. Yeah.
I got a question. So, what type of content, like, do you suggest, like, you know, for instance, like talking directly to the camera as you're doing things?
So you can monetize off your Spotlights?
Yep, for over if they're over a minute long. So and you can go up to 3 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes. So for you should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's all about, I think what's going to resonate on Snapchat is telling a cohesive story versus a bunch of random snaps. So I'll give you an example. I'm actually glad you brought this up. Let me,
Or more like produce, like, here's a day in the life, or come with me as I, you know, like what type of content resonates?
I think it's more day in the life. I think it's less performative. And, hold on guys, let me give you an example on my own personal one really quick. 2 seconds. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. So I like I said, I'm busy, so I don't have the time to post on Snap. So what I'll do sometimes is I'll catch up. So I'll be like, hey, it's been a busy last few weeks. Here's what I've been up to. First, I went to my grandparents' anniversary, and then I hosted a Snap school, and then I did this, and then I'm telling a story and tethering it all together. That is everything. So that's what's gonna, like, if it's a bunch of random snaps, no context, all that, people tap in, tap out. So that's what's gonna really. I did a speaking thing, and so I will use captions to kind of tether into one long story, and it's a mixture of produced content, it's a mixture of like day in the life content. It's about how you're the same thing here. It's like, oh, it's been a busy last few weeks, here's what you missed. First I went on Cheyenne's podcast, and so is this your podcast? Yeah, it's your podcast. But like again,
So basically, like whoever is coming to your page for the first time, you want them to still kind of understand from like a single post beginning to end, right? Like,
yeah, 100%. Like
got it, okay.
even when I like it's like this is a produced piece of content that I'm using with captions, and then I'm going into day in life content, and then I gave some random tips. But again, there's like so it's all like happening.
No, babe, we have those.
I don't have this. You got this. I remember I had to go to the office that day. So you ain't got these socks though.
Together. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
As far as profile name, do you feel like you should go with like your regular name or what's your
No, I don't have the socks.
Yeah. Nah, they fried those socks. Alright. Snap school is fucking over with. Take our yeah. Alright. Class is back home trying to get me a tea time with the fellas. They done gave my dog a 5 tea.